And now we'll bring up Gervonta Tank Davis as it.
Don't worry,
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach's press conference for their rematch ended in a massive brawl as Tank threw a chair at Lamont Roach. It was less about words and more about action for the World Boxing Association lightweight champion, who is set to prove himself in the ring on fight night. However, the provocation began with Lamont Roach and was fueled further by his supporters seated in the audience.
Ain't never gonna stop nothing over here. He gonna pay for it. I guarantee he pay for it. I guarantee he pay for it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Come to the fight. Come to the fight. Come to the fight. Come to
the fight. What did you want to say to him?
He a front runner like everybody else that fought. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay.
So you said he's a front runner just like everyone else you fought?
Showing off for the people that's here. That's all he doing. Showing off for them. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's showing off. He ain't had none of this energy any other time. Now, no, it's not. No, it's...
Tank had argued violently with them during the press conference before the first fight, but things got even worse this time. As Roach tried to intervene, Tank hurled a chair at him. In fact, it took a good number of security personnel to maintain decorum, as Roach's supporters were ready to invade the stage during the press conference. Roach taunted Davis, saying, "I showed the world I can hang with you. Next time, I'm taking that belt for good." Davis, visibly irritated, fired back, "You talk too much, Lamont. I'm going to shut you up for good." The verbal sparring match between the two fighters has generated significant buzz, with many fans eagerly anticipating the rematch.
It's always an electric atmosphere when you step into the ring. And once again, the last time you were in Barclays Center, you broke records. They're anticipating those records to be broken. What happens as Gervonta Tank Davis defends his world title again?
Same old, same old. I get the people what they want to see, man. Explosive knockouts and shit like that. That's what come with me. So
the drama didn't stop there, as Davis threatened Roach backstage, vowing to end him in their upcoming fight. According to reports, Davis cornered Roach, pointed at him, and stated, "I'm coming for you again. This time, there's no running. No excuses. I'm going to prove who the real champ is." Roach, undaunted, remains confident that he can outbox Davis and claim the lightweight title. The tension between the two fighters was palpable as they faced off in front of a packed audience at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. The rematch comes after their first fight ended in a disputed decision, with many questioning the officiating. Davis's camp, despite escaping with a draw, has been vocal about their discontent with the result, while Roach's team believes he was robbed of a potential victory.
What round was? You know, when the niggas, when they start talking, when the people that who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get them. I'm gonna beat his ass when y'all talking. Y'all better be quiet. I don't give a fuck about all that. You got the whole wood over there. Like, twist it up. I can do whatever y'all want. Mother, he can't talk nothing over you. Not at all. Not at all. Never. Nothing.
The controversy surrounding their first bout has only added fuel to the fire, making their rematch all the more compelling. Their upcoming fight was initially scheduled for June 21st, but has been delayed to late summer or early fall, allowing Davis more preparation time. Despite the delay, both fighters are gearing up for what promises to be an epic battle for pride, legacy, and the lightweight title. Fans and fighters alike are reacting to the press conference drama, with many praising the intensity and the growing anticipation surrounding the fight. One fan commented, "What impressed me is that Gervonta Davis has finally found his match. He's now short of intimidation tactics to use against Roach. Violence is the next option. What an embarrassment." to the sport of boxing.
This me and you, folks. Tank. This me and you, folks. Don't worry about them. They might get you dead. They gonna treat you on the spot. They gonna treat you on the spot, so don't worry about them.
So you said, what round would you ideally like to get him out of there?
Man, everybody want to first.
I'm loving this drama between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis. It's really shaping up to be a contender for Fight of the Year, one fan said. The tension at the press conference was electric. I'm definitely tuning in for their rematch. Another added, it's going to be a war. A crazy one. Davis needs to prove himself again after that close call last time. I'm hyped to see how these two will clash in the ring. I hope Lamont wins this clash. A third wrote, Gervonta Davis is going to shut Lamont Roach down. Roach thinks he can outbox Davis, but he's got another thing coming. Davis's power is unmatched, and he's going to prove why he's the champ. Roach might have some skills, but he's no match for Tank's ferocity. Davis is going to come out on top, no question.
But shit, I'm trying to knock anybody out. I don't care if it was him, if it was anybody else. I'm trying to knock everybody out.
Hey, we're gonna knock him out the first round.
You heard where it comes from. Everybody in this room right now know what's going on. Come on, stop. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard for him.
Another fan commented, Lamont Roach Jr. is a beast. He gave Davis a run for his money last time, and I'm confident he can do it again. Roach's speed and agility will give Davis fits, and I think he might just pull off the upset. Davis is underestimating Roach at his own peril. Roach is going to prove he's better. The stage is set for an unforgettable showdown between two talented boxers, each determined to prove their worth. With Davis's formidable power and Roach's timing, the stage is truly set for an electrifying clash that will leave only one champion standing. As Davis and Roach continue to exchange verbal blows, the question on everyone's mind is, who will emerge victorious in the rematch? Adding to the excitement, Frank Martin, Gervonta Davis's last opponent, had something crazy to say about the winner.
Compared to what compete with Roach, but what did you think about that fight? Like, did you think it was competitive?
Yeah, I think it was competitive. I feel like with them having I feel like the relationship that they got or they had, as far as coming up together and kind of knowing the same people, working with the same people, it kind of was more of the fight was more of like I feel like so Roach came out and fought his.
Forgive Frank Martin for being a bit chippy about Gervonta Davis's underwhelming performance against Lamont Roach. Martin faced Davis in June 2024, going up against arguably the best version of Tank to ever step into the ring. Martin landed his desired offense in the first 3 rounds, as Davis made his customarily slow start. But then, Davis began walking Martin down with ruthless impunity, stalking him across the ring and into the corners. In the 8th round, Davis clubbed Martin with a left uppercut against the ropes, one he didn't see coming, leaving Martin out on his feet, frozen and glassy-eyed. Another clean left hand sent him sprawling to the floor for the count.
Best fight that he could possibly fight, right? Against Tank. He came out with his A game, boom. And I feel like Tank came in that fight not underestimating Roach, but more like we got history. I know what he liked, basically, but Roach is gonna automatically have more of a little spark because he tried to get that spot. And Tank probably just like, I know you. I'ma do what I want to do to you, or I'm gonna do what I've done to you. Because I know they fought prior, the fights might have been close or whatever, but
Davis faced a sterner test against Roach this past March. Roach countered his counters, absorbed his shots, and even backed up the World Boxing Association lightweight title holder. The fight ended in a draw, with the majority of viewers believing Roach deserved the nod. Frank Martin believes the close outcome was due both to Davis underperforming and Roach delivering the performance of his life. Roach came out and fought his best fight that he could possibly fight, Martin told Ron Goodall of Fight Hype. He came in with his A-game. I feel like Tank fought that fight not fully trying to get off. He fought him more relaxed and chill, instead of trying to get him up out of there. I think that he thought the fight may have been easier than it was.
I feel like Tank fought that fight not like fully like trying to get off. I don't feel like, you know, like he fought it more relaxed and chill instead of, you know, really trying to get him up out of there. I think that he thought the fight may have been easier than what it was. And you know, Roach did his thing. He took advantage of that. And shit, the fight came to a draw. But I think the rematch, honestly,
The biggest source of controversy in the fight came in round 9, when Davis took a knee after receiving a jab to the face from Roach. Davis quickly raced to his corner, where a trainer wiped his face with a towel. After the fight, Davis explained that his eyes were stinging from hair grease running into them. Referee Steve Willis began a standard count, as is customary when a fighter takes a knee, but did not rule it a knockdown or disqualify Davis for receiving corner assistance mid-round. Frank Martin alleged that Davis benefited from ringside bias. "It was a close fight," he told Ron Goodall. "I feel like the draw was cool, but with him taking a knee, like I say, Tank knows they're going to give it to their man. They're going to give it to the guy who brings in all the money."
Gonna be a good fight still, but I think Tank may get him up out of there this fight. And even with the knockdown and all that stuff too, I know you probably was gonna ask me about that. It was a close ass fight. I feel like the draw was cool, but with him taking the knee, like I say, Tank. You know, like they gonna give it to their man. They gonna give it to the guy with who bringing in all the money.
When asked whether Tank fought better against him than Roach, Martin said, for sure. Hell yeah. I felt like he was a lot more locked in for me than he was for Roach. Roach is a good fighter, but I just felt he was more locked in for me. When you fight a puncher, fighters who can really punch, you're going to be more on your toes, more on your A-game, because you know a guy can catch you with something. He probably didn't feel the same way when he fought Roach. As for the August 16th rematch between Tank and Roach, Martin favors Davis. I think the rematch is going to be a good fight, but I think Tank may get him out of there.
Close fight overall, but the rematch, I feel like Tank gonna do. He gonna turn up on this next one.
You think he was locked in more with you than Roach, or you think it was kind of?
For sure. Hell yeah. I feel like he was a lot more locked in with me than Roach. Roach a good fighter. Roach a good fighter, but I just feel like it was more. He was more locked in when it came to me. Just
Martin is also willing to fight Roach and took a subtle jab at Roach's well-publicized celebration tour following the fight, which may have been a moral victory, but not an actual one. "I'm willing to fight him for sure, with his big head," Martin said. Gervonta Davis's rival, Rolando Romero, shares a similar view. He believes the same man who handed him the first defeat of his career will beat Lamont Roach in their second fight. "I'd take Tank," Romero said of a Davis-Roach rematch, because I think Tank will make the necessary adjustments.
Yeah, I definitely felt that.
I truly like, but that also didn't seem like just Tank in general. And
so is that Lamont and Tank's fault?
And I will tell you this, Tank, I know for a fact, was sparring a 122-pounder, and that was the only person he sparred all camp. Literally all camp, that he sparred a 122-pounder.
Was he tall at least?
No, he's shorter than Tank.
Bro.
Or him and Tank same height. Like I said, Tank wasn't really training.
Romero, whom Davis knocked out in the 6th round of their lightweight title fight in March 2022 at Barclays Center, isn't sure who won their 12-round fight Saturday night for Davis's WBA 135 LB championship. He respects Roach and commended his performance against Davis. However, Romero predicted that Davis will learn from the mistakes he made Saturday night at Barclays Center and apply the improvements made in the gym when he faces Roach again. Romero discussed Davis's controversial draw with Roach and its aftermath with The Ring before a press conference promoting Romero's fight against Ryan Garcia on May the 2nd in Times Square. Lamont Roach took every person in the boxing world by surprise. That day, Romero said,
People want to discredit Tank. He's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. It's an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Roach is a tremendous fighter, bruh. He's a really good fighter, man, dude. He beat Hector Garcia, and then, you know, he took the belt from him, and he came up, you know, and I know he's a lot more durable and stronger at 135, you know?
He's also seen Tank the most in previous fights before.
Like they already had 2 fights, right?
Yeah, so
I think Roach might have even surprised himself. Well, I'm not going to say that outright, because he went in there very confident and composed. He fought like a real professional, and it was a very close fight. That doesn't take anything. Away from Tank, though. Tank is a 3-division world champion, one of the greatest fighters of our generation. Lamont Roach had a really good day against him. I feel like that rematch needs to happen, because there are some controversies behind it. The random knee, none of the punches really hitting him, and it wasn't like an aggressive round until that moment. So, it just came out of nowhere. There's a lot of controversy. They didn't count the knee as a knockdown, but if they had, Davis would have lost. Like I said, Lamont Roach was very patient, took his time in that fight, and fought like a real professional